Bharat Institute of Law under Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research welcomes all to this presentation. Subject name Law of Contract 1, Subject Code U18 PCGL 101. The topic Consideration by N. Ramanathan, Assistant Professor, Bharat Institute of Law, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Now let us see what is the definition given by Sir Frederick Bullock. He has defined a consideration as an act or forbearance of one party or the price thereof or the price for which the promise of the other is bought. We already have seen in earlier classes under Indian Contract Act 1872 to make a valid contract there must be an offer of a person and duly accepted by the other person, which will become as a promise. The offer, acceptance, and the promise result in an agreement when there is a consideration. The idea here is very simple. For example, there is a commercial transaction. Some person is buying some goods. So the supplier is selling the goods. The same goods, one person is buying the same goods, another person, the shopkeeper, may be selling the goods. This is an agreement between both the parties, which will be a contract between both the parties. In that case, one person is offering to sell the goods, the shopkeeper is offering to sell the goods, and the buyer is accepting the offer for which he is paying the price. That is what we call consideration. Under the law, under the Indian Contract Act, the consideration is the promise by both the persons in exchange for each other's promise. For example, very simple. The buyer promised to buy the goods and the seller promised to sell the goods. That is the consideration for each other. Similarly, the buyer promised to pay some price for which the seller promised to deliver the goods. That is the consideration. For the paying of price by the buyer, some money he is paying, the seller is giving the consideration of goods for the goods. Similarly, you can see that for selling the goods by the buyer, by the seller selling the goods, he is getting the consideration of the amount paid by the buyer. So it is all mutual promises which forms a mutual consideration. So promise to deliver the goods, promise to pay the price. Both the promises are consideration for each other. That is very simple. So that is why it is defined as it may be an act. Act in the sense delivery of goods or payment of price by one party or even the promise to deliver the goods or promise to pay the price. So by paying the price, the promise of the other person is purchased. In Curie versus Misa in 1875, the consideration was defined like this: some right, interest, profit, benefit, all legal terms accruing to one party. So, for one particular party, some rights are accruing, some interest is there, some profit is there, or some benefit is there. In our simple example, I am paying some price to the shopkeeper. I am getting some benefit, some goods. Some goods, once I purchase the goods, I will have some rights on the goods. Before selling the goods, on the particular goods, the seller is having the rights. After selling the goods, that rights in the goods transferred to me. So he is having a rights in the goods, that is, he is transferring to me for some price. While transferring that rights, after getting the goods, I will consume the goods. That is my rights. So it may be legally stated in different legal terms. It may be rights, interest, profit, or benefit to one party. When there is a profit to one party, there will be a loss to the other party. There is a profit to one party, there is a loss to other party, but it is mutually adjusted. It is not that one person is only getting benefit, other is always getting loss. Not is not that. It is mutually adjusted. For simple idea, where we are talking about a purchase and sale of goods. What happens? The benefit of the goods is with the seller. Now he is losing it. I am getting the benefit of the goods. But at the same time, I am having the benefit of some amount, cash, some right in the cash, money I am having. Now I am losing the money. So only when I am giving the money, I will get the goods. Similarly, when he is giving the goods, he will get the money. That is the consideration. So you can see that any commercial transactions, nothing is free. No goods are free, no services are free in commercial transaction. Everything has a price. So that price and the goods, one side there is a goods, another side there is a money. Both forms the consideration. So there should be always there is a price for everything. Nothing is free for any person, particularly in commercial transactions. When somebody is delivering some goods and services, he is expecting some price for it. That is the consideration. Similarly, when we are paying the price, money, we are expecting some goods or services from the other person. So nothing is free. So how it is defined under section 2D of the Indian Contract Act? The consideration, how it is defined. Of course, it is a legal phrases. The simple meaning is always the simple meaning is I am doing something for other person. Other person is doing something for me. Or immediately he may not be doing it. He is promising that he will do it afterwards. So these phrases, legal ideas are in the section 2D of the Indian Contract Act 1872. When at the desire of the promisor. So here you can find there is a promisor, another one is a promisee, or any other person has done something or abstained from doing something. There are some negative activities also there, where without doing an act, you can do make a consideration. Or does or abstains from doing, or promises to do or abstain from doing something. All the something is simply anything or something is legal activity. The consideration always should be legal activity. So in our example, it is very simple. He is promising to deliver the goods. So he wants that I have to pay the money. So I am paying the money. Or I am saying tomorrow I will pay the money. I am promising to pay the money tomorrow. Similarly, he may be I am also paying some price. He is giving the consideration. That is, he is immediately delivering the goods. That is, he is doing something, delivering the goods. Doing something is delivering the goods. Or he is promising, okay, tomorrow I will deliver the goods. So promise to do something means promise to deliver the goods in future date. So such act or a promise, abstinence or promise is called a consideration for the promise. Then what are all the kinds of consideration we need to see? Whenever there is a contract, there is an offer by one person, acceptance by another person, there is a mutual promise between the two. They are entering into a contract. It may be a very simple contract like our examples, or it may be a very big contract where the supply of services are running for years. For example, construction of a bridge. There is a contract. So the government is paying money to the contractor, and contractor is constructing a bridge, a public purpose for public purpose, constructing a bridge. These are all the contract, and there is a consideration mutually. Government is paying the contract price, and the contractor is executing the contract, which means that the constructing of the bridge. And you can find that it may take 3 years, 5 years also, and it may have a detailed terms and conditions. What are all the activities to be completed at every stage? Now, what may be the types of consideration? It may be a future consideration. In the case of future consideration, there is a promise only. There is a promise only. The consideration will be actually paid at a later date, in a future date. Executory, that is also called executory, not yet executed, not yet completed. It will be executed afterwards. That is a executory, or simply future consideration, which means that a form of promise to be performed in the future. They are going to deliver the goods in the future. They are going to perform whatever they have promised. They will do it in future only. Now contract is entered. They have signed the contract. They have entered into contract. But the performance will be done at a later stage. For example, there is a borrowing of loan. A person is borrowing a loan from bank. So in this case, what happened? Bank is giving some loan. And what is the consideration? We have to repay the loan with interest, with the promise to pay the interest. So here what happens? For the loan given by the bank, whatever we are paying, the repayment of the loan as well as the interest. That is the consideration for the banker. Now, we received the loan after sanctioning, etc., after entering into contract. The bank sanctioned loan and disbursed the loan. Now we received the loan. So far as consideration already received, present. In presently we received it. But we promised to repay the loan in installment, monthly installment, or after 1 year, term loans, like that. After 1 year, we may repay the loan. In between monthly, we may be paying the interest. So we are promising to repay the loan after some time in installment or in a lump sum amount after some time only. So we are only promising now. We have received the loan amount. That loan amount is present consideration for us. But banker, he has disbursed the loan, but he is not receiving the amount immediately. The repayment of loan and the interest we are promising only to pay in a future date. That is called executory consideration. And present, I have given some example also. Present, when the banker is discussing the amount, it is a present consideration. Executed or present, in which it is an act or forbearance made or suffered for a promise. The act constituting consideration is wholly or completely performed. It is performed by the one person, or sometimes it may be performed by both the persons. For example, in many cases, we are purchasing in any goods from a shop. We are paying some price. Immediately, we are getting some stationery items. You see that within 5 minutes, the contract is concluded and performed also. Over the counter, across the counter, we are paying the price. He is delivering some goods, stationery. So immediately, both the parties performed their part. There is no future promise. Immediately it is done. So it is a present consideration, executed consideration. We are going to the shop, we are giving 10 rupees, we are getting a pen. So the 10 rupees and the pen given by the seller, it is a mutual consideration. It is executed within 1 minute, just 1 minute. So it is executed. We are leaving the place. So it is performed. So this is the example we are giving here. A pays today rupees 100 to a shop owner for goods. So now A is paying 100 rupees to a shop owner. This is the executed consideration, present consideration. But the shop owner says if he is immediately giving, suppose the immediately shop owner is delivering the goods, that is also present consideration. But if the shop owner says, I will deliver the goods tomorrow, so he is only making a promise today. That is valid contract, valid consideration. He is making a promise that he will deliver the supply next day only. So that is called executory consideration. So the A has paid the money immediately. So it is a executed present consideration. But the shopkeeper is giving executory consideration. That is, the promise will be executed next day only. That is why it is executory or future. Here we are seeing this example. I am already informed you. If the price is paid by the buyer and the goods are delivered across the counter, same time immediately. So the consideration is present consideration executed by both the parties immediately. The contract is completed. And consideration may be past also. Past in the sense, before entering into a contract, there might be some transaction happening between the persons. And to compensate the person, they are entering into a contract. For example, some person voluntarily coming and helping us by incurring some expenditure and incurring his professional experience. For example, simply there is a vehicle, it is under repair. Normally, what we are doing, we are taking the vehicle and bringing it to the mechanic shop and doing the service, paying the price, getting back, all those things we are doing. Suppose there is no contract at all, suddenly our vehicle stopped in some places. Our vehicle stopped in some places. No contract at all, no mechanic is available, nothing else. We are there. Somebody is suddenly coming and helping us. But he may be mechanic, we may not be knowing it. Somebody suddenly coming and doing the necessary, some simple mechanism he is doing. By simple mechanism he is doing, our vehicle is ready now. And he is only saying, okay, sir, thanks. I am only saying, okay, thank you. And he is also, no, sir, no problem at all. Just I helped you, that's all. And he went away. This happened. This is only some small help he has done, but some professional help. He may be a mechanic, that is why he is doing properly. I do not know what to do with my vehicle. It is stuck up somewhere, but he has done something and he has gone. And after a week, I am taking my vehicle for some purpose to some other place. I am finding that he is a mechanic and he is having a mechanic shop and he is doing some work, etc. So I found that he is a mechanic now. Now I am saying, sir, you have already done some help at the emergency situation, particularly. It may be a small work. It may be a small work, and you have told that nothing to be worried. You simply went away. But you are a mechanic. It is a mechanical work done by you. So I have to definitely pay the price to you. So I will definitely pay some minimum amount, 50 rupees. He may not be accepting normally, but sometimes, okay, sir, if you like, you can give me, no problem. So we are giving the 50 rupees now. The contract is entered now only. The transaction already happened. But we did not take it as a commercial transaction. Somebody helped like that one. So in this case, when I'm paying the price now to the mechanic, the last week whatever service done by him, that was the past consideration for which I am rewarding now only. Because at that time there is no contract. Simply somebody helped and went out like that. But now we are recognizing presently whatever your past services, I recognize as a professional service. I'll pay the price now. So now I'm executing the consideration. Your consideration, your service, you have done past, already done. No need to further do anything. Just take the 50 rupees. This is the idea of the past consideration. Past consideration means a past act. The mechanic has already done the service without doing in a commercial manner, in a friendly manner. An act constituting consideration took place and complete before the promise is made. Now only I am promising, sir, I am ready to pay 50 rupees and paying it. Now only I am paying. But the service he has done already, as I explained it clearly. Now we have to see what are all the legal rules for a valid consideration. We are only saying it is a price, it may be past, it may be present, it may be future. We are saying. But there must be some valid legal rules for the consideration. What are all the valid rules? Every simple contract or every contract, even a complicated contract also, must be supported by valuable consideration. Otherwise, it is formally void. So, when there is no consideration, no price, it is not a contract at all. It is an invalid contract. Of course, subject to some exceptions. When there is rule, always some exceptions are there. So now we will see the rules, then we will see what is the exceptions also. So first rule. In every contract, simple contract or even a complicated contract, always there will be a mutual exchange of price, mutual exchange of service, mutual exchange of promise. Then only it is a valid contract. If there is no consideration, it is a void only. It is void only. For example, I am promising to some pay 100 rupees some person. I am simply saying, tomorrow you come, I will pay 100 rupees. And what you have to do? Nothing. I am saying, you need not give me anything and you need not give me any services. I just promise you to give 100 rupees. So there is no consideration for me. I am paying 100 rupees. I am not getting anything in exchange. So it is a void agreement only. It is not an enforceable contract. Suppose tomorrow he comes and asks me, I will say, if I am really interested in him, I may give. I may give. But I am not compelled to give legally. Legally, I can say, if he is coming, I can say, there is no consideration for my promise. Of course, I promise you to pay 100 rupees, but there is no consideration for my promise. So it is a void promise, void agreement. It is not enforceable. So I will not give the 100 rupees. Tomorrow I can say, because the promise is not a promise at all, not an agreement at all, because there is no consideration for my promise. Consideration may be an act or promise. So we have seen it may be a present consideration or a future consideration. What may be abstinence? Somebody not doing it. Either he is promising, I will not do a particular act. These things happens in some of the business cases, etc. You find that some informations are exchanged between the parties. Some information are exchanged between the parties. They are entering into an agreement for the purpose of maybe for the purpose of buying the business itself, taking over the business itself. So some informations are passed on to the other person. You see, they will enter into a confidentiality agreement, which means that whatever you are disclosing, I will use it only for the purpose of taking over the business only, for the negotiation purpose, etc., etc. Only. I will not disclose these information to anybody else. So that is abstinence. I will not do. There are similar, so many examples are there for abstinence. Then very much essential rule. There must be mutuality. When I am doing something, in exchange, other person also should do something to me. Similarly, when I am doing, when he is doing something, I have to do something. Always, whenever two parties are entering into a agreement, promises, etc., there must be mutual consideration is necessary. If it is not a mutual consideration, I already given the example, this kind of promise. I am promising to pay 100 rupees for a charity also. Promise only. Promise only, a charity. I am giving. Tomorrow I am saying somebody is coming for a temple subscription, for a charitable association, they want some donation. It is voluntary only. I may be giving donation and they may be receiving. That is okay. That is accepted by law. But I am only promising. I promise tomorrow you give. You tomorrow you please come. I will give the donation to you. That is a promise. This promise is not valid. This promise is not valid because I am not getting anything from them. So tomorrow, if they are coming and asking for the donation, I may say, I am not interested. I can refuse also. So where A promises to subscribe rupees 5,000 for the repair of a temple. For repairing a temple, they are coming. Today A is saying, tomorrow you come, please come, I will give 5,000 rupees. And then refuses to pay. Tomorrow they are coming, he says, no, I don't want to. pay the 5,000 rupees. Whether they can go, whether the temple authorities, they can go under the law of contract and take a legal against action against Mr. A to give the amount 5,000 rupees. Not at all possible. Because under the Indian Contract Act, it is a promise without consideration. That is not at all an agreement. That cannot be enforced in a court of law. These are all voluntary only. If he is voluntarily giving the 5,000 rupees, that is okay. Then he cannot return back. He cannot ask for return of the money. Once it is given as a gift donation, he cannot ask. But if it is a promise, that promise is not at all valid. Tomorrow he can refuse. Nobody can enforce against that promise without consideration. That is very important. And consideration must be real, not vague, indefinite, or illusory, something imaginary. For example, simply, I am receiving money from somebody, 1 lakh rupees I am receiving, and I am promising my consideration is I will bring next week, I will bring gold from planet Mars. I will bring gold from planet Mars and will give it to you. Whether this consideration is real, whether it is possible for the next week to go to the Mars planet and take gold from Mars planet and deliver to the other person. It is only illusory, illusory. Similarly, somebody is saying magically, I will cure your health problems. Somebody is having so many diseases. He is approaching some magician, and the magician is saying, you give me 10,000 rupees. I will perform some puja, perform some magical things. Your disease will disappear. It may be real magic or may not be real magic, we do not know. But legally, it is not a consideration at all. It is only an illusion only. It is not real. It is not real. Similarly, there is a government department. We are going to the government department. We are paying fees to the government and getting some services. And the services may be on the same day or next week also we may be getting. Suppose the government servant is saying, you give me 500 rupees. I will immediately do the work. In this case, it is illegal agreement. It is a brave, illegal agreement. Under the law of contract, it is an illegal agreement as well as there is no consideration at all. We are paying 500. He is going to do his duty only. It is not a consideration for our 500. Whether we are giving 500 or not, he has to perform his duty. So if he is saying, give me 500, I am doing the work for you, it is not a real consideration. Similarly, a son is saying, I will not create any nuisance to you and give me some money. Father is also saying, okay, I promise to give you some money or property if you are not creating any nuisance. It is a vague idea. What is a nuisance? There must be some legal rights. If the son is saying, I have a legal right, for the purpose of you, I will not exercise that legal right, that will be a benefit. You give me a money, then it is okay. But here he is simply saying, I will not give any nuisance at all. That is not a real consideration. It is a very vague consideration only. Then this is very, very important rule. Although consideration must have some value, it need not be adequate. It need not be a full return for the promise. Simple idea is a property is worth 10 lakh rupees. A property is worth 10 lakh rupees. And there may be a demand also. If there is a demand, he may be selling it for 12 lakhs also. Because there is a demand. Buyers are coming, demand. Then what happens? A 10 lakhs worth of property, somebody is paying 12 lakhs rupees. So he is gaining 12 lakhs rupees, but getting 10 lakhs worth of property only. But there is a value. Value is a property is there. It is not equal. It is not equal. Similarly, The property is 10 lakh worth, but there is no demand at all. And he is trying his best. Negotiation, so many offers, so many people is bargaining. Finally, one person is coming for 8 lakhs rupees only. Now, no other option. He is selling it for 8 lakhs rupees. Here also you find there is no equal. He is giving 10 lakhs worth of property. The other person is giving only 8 lakhs worth of property. It is not equal, it is not adequate, but it is decided by the parties. It is valid. So there must be some valuable consideration, but it need not be equal, it need not be adequate. And even 10 lakhs property for somebody is willing to give it for 1 lakh rupees. He may be liking that person for whatever reason. So he may give it for 1 lakh rupees also. So these are all acceptable. An agreement to which the consent of the promisor is freely given. That is very important. Nobody compelled him. If he is compelled, then it is void. It is not a proper consideration. But he is not compelled. He is freely giving for lesser value also. A person is freely, with free mind, he is giving, voluntarily giving the goods. For example, when in a shopkeeper may be giving a discount of 50%, discount of 80% also sometimes. The goods are very worthy goods, but it is not moving. So when a customer comes, he is ready to give a 80% discount also. Voluntarily he is giving. That is okay. Because the consideration is inadequate, we cannot say it is an invalid agreement. It is a valid agreement because voluntarily he is accepting lesser price. That is the idea. So here you find it is upon the parties to fix their own prices voluntarily, no force. A voluntarily agreed to sell his motor car for rupees 500 to B. It became a valid contract. He is very much interested. Okay, I am for B, I am ready to give it 500 rupees. If somebody else is asking the car, I may be selling it for 50,000 rupees, 5 lakhs rupees. But for B, some special consideration for B. He is maybe an VIP, he may be a cine actor for which the fan wants to give it as a gift actually, but the VIP or the cine actor don't want it freely. Then this person fan says that no sir, then give me a token consideration of 500 only, that is enough for me. He may give it, voluntarily he is giving. So it is not a issue at all. Then this is very important in respect of consideration. Important rule in respect of consideration. Consideration must be lawful. Any promise to do certain things, any activities, that should not be illegal activity. That is very, very important. Suppose people are using the word contract killer. There is no contract at all actually. We can see so many people using the word contract criminals, contract killer. There is no use of, maybe they are using the word. Actually, there is no contract under the Indian Contract Act. The reason being, a person is paying the money in consideration, the other person is performing some illegal act. That is not a consideration at all. That is not a proper contract at all. That is only a illegal act. That is only crime. It cannot come under the Contract Act. If the consideration is unlawful, the agreement is void, which means that it is not a legal agreement. It cannot be enforced before the court of law. And this is a rule I have already stated. Consideration must be something more than the promisee already bound to do for the promisor. If he is already having a duty to perform the particular act, it cannot be made as a consideration now. That is why I have given the government servant example. When a government servant, we have paid the fees to the government, he is duty bound to give the services to us. Already he is duty bound. Now he cannot ask for a money and say that I will do the work for you. He cannot say that kind of consideration, because he is already duty bound without payment of any, he is bound to be perform his service. So that cannot be a consideration. There cannot be any legal agreement. Similarly, in other cases also, in commercial cases also, the ship, it is going on a voyage. A particular seaman don't want to perform his service contract. Service contract is when during the voyage he has to perform his duties, for which he will be paid some good salary. In between, he is saying, I will not do my job. So he is breaking his contract. I will not do my job. I will keep quiet. Now the ship captain is saying, please join the duty. I will give you extra wages. Please join the duty, do your work. I will pay extra wages also, which means that if it is already 100 rupees paid for the work, now 100 rupees plus 20% extra also I will give 120. Like that, he is promising. The ship captain is promising. But this is not a valid contract. The reason for extra wages, he is not giving any extra service actually. He is doing his regular service only. The contract is for 100 rupees, you have to do this job. He has to do it for 100 rupees only. Now, for the same, doing the same thing, he is claiming extra 20 rupees. There is no consideration by him because he is duty bound to perform the same service for 100 rupees. Same service he cannot claim for another 20 rupees. So it is not legally enforceable. If a seaman deserts his ship, so that he is breaking his contract of service and is induced by the captain to return the duty by a promise. Now, new promise is there for extra wages, but that is not supported by any consideration. The seaman cannot legally take action for this extra wages. Normal wages is entitled. He has returned back the duty, he has done the services, only the normal wages 100 rupees is eligible. He cannot claim the extra 20 rupees because he has not done any extra service. He has done his normal services only. It is a very old leading case in Stilk versus Mirek, 1809. Very old cases. That rule is still applicable. All the rules under the Indian Contract Act 1872. And you can find that this is a English law even before Indian Contract Act 1872. This English law of contract is applicable in England. This case was decided. The same principle was imported by English people and as a Indian Contract Act 1872. The same English law only we are following. Same rules are followed in Indian Contract Act 1872 also. Now we will see. Section 25 says it should be lawful consideration. You should not be against public policies, etc., etc. It should not be immoral consideration. Not only illegal consideration. Certain things we are, the society, the court treating as immoral. So for immoral consideration, somebody is paying money. It is not an agreement. It is a outside the law. It is outside the law. At the same time, under section 25, there are certain exceptions. The normal rule is a promise without consideration is valid. And not valid, not valid, and not valid. The normal rule is a promise without consideration, not valid and not binding. But there are exceptions. In the exception, there is no consideration, but it is a valid agreement, binding agreement. It is legally valid. So, what are all those exceptions? We have to see. These are all exceptions. First one, if it is expressed in writing and registered under Transfer of Property Act. We know that there is a Transfer of Property Act under which properties can be sold as well as settled or given as a gift to somebody. by executing a registered document before Registrar of Properties under the Transfer of Property Act. So the first condition says it should be in writing. Exception is in writing, written or handwritten, typewritten, computer written, whatever written, and registered as a document, stamped document registered before the Registrar of Properties, and is made out of natural love and affection between the parties. Normally, it may be father and son, husband and wife, mother and son, even brother and sister. Possible. A brother is having a property, he can give the property to the sister without taking any money, settlement. Similarly, a mother is having a property, she can give it to some sons as a settlement, property settlement, without taking any money from the sons, without consideration. That is valid. Normally, commercial transactions, we are saying there must be some consideration. Here, there is no money consideration, only the natural love and affection between the parties. That is the consideration. So they may be settling, a father may be settling his property freely without taking money from the sons. He is settling the properties to the son. But it should be a registered document under the Transfer of Property Act. That is very important. Then here also we have already said there may be a past consideration also. Some person already done voluntarily, already done, but it is a valuable service. Now we can compensate. So at this present time, there is no consideration. Whatever done voluntarily at a previous point of time, that will be treated as a consideration. For example, I have to do something legally. I have to pay some amount legally, and I am not available at that point of time. So somebody is helping me by way of paying that amount. Some taxes to be paid, some road tax, something is to be paid, and the vehicle is with him only now. Vehicle is with him only. I am away from some other place. Now he is paying the road tax on the vehicle and is safely keeping my vehicle. So when I am returning back, I have to pay the amount to him because he voluntarily paid some amount to some person. I have to compensate him. So that is a valid transaction, valid exception. Here also another possibility, there is a dues outstanding, and always there is a dues outstanding only. Only 3 years time is there to go before a court of law. Suppose one person not paid the money due by him. He received a loan 2020. He has not repaid the loan. So the lender, he has the time to go to the court of law for 3 years. See, a simple loan, 3 years. So up to 2023 he can go. Suppose he is not at all going to the court of law within 3 years, it is barred by limitation, law of limitation. He cannot go after 3 years. So suppose one loan is already barred. Now the other person says, even though it is legally barred, now I am again giving a writing agreement that I will pay that amount to you. That is valid because already there is a consideration in a old borrowing, but it expired. The time period expired. Now it cannot be enforced. It cannot be legally enforced. But the borrower now voluntarily is coming, and we are not forcing him. Voluntarily coming and saying, in writing, he is saying, okay, the outstanding already legally expired. I have to pay. Now I am ready to pay. So this is without any consideration, we say, but actually there is a past consideration. Some expired contract that is taken as a consideration here. Then it is very simple. Under section 185 of the Indian Contract Act, consideration not at all required to create an agency. Similarly, for a partnership also. For example, it is a valid agreement. One agency we are creating, one agent we are appointing. We are simply telling him, I am appointing you as an agent to do some act. After doing that, I may be paying the commission. You find For appointment of agent, there is no consideration also at all. We are appointing as a person an agent for which we are not paying any money at all. That is over, simple. Then, whenever he goes and do some work for us, he is doing some services, then we are compensating him by commission. Or we may say that we are authorizing you to do a particular act, but no consideration will be paid to you. And he is agreeing also. Then it is a valid consideration under section 185. The law provides that whatever you want to do, you can do it through some agent also, for which there is not no consideration is necessary. The law is giving relaxation for appointing an agent. This is an exception. Then in the case of gift actually made, no consideration is necessary. In the case of gift actually made, no consideration is necessary. If you are giving 5,000 rupees to somebody, gift, that's all. Marriage gift, something etc. We cannot get it returned back. We cannot ask for it. It is completed gift and no consideration. They are not giving anything to us. So normally this is a Kedarnath versus Gauri Mohan. If there is a promise to subscribe for a charitable cause, normally it cannot be enforced. But suppose, on the basis of our promise, they have done something. We promise next week I will give definitely 10,000 rupees. And they are saying, okay, sir, we are bringing some materials and we are constructing the walls. We are also knowing it. They started constructing walls with the materials. After 1 week, they have constructed the wall. They are coming for the donation 10,000. In that case, we cannot refuse. A simple donation we can refuse. I am ready to give 10,000 rupees as a donation. I am not giving it. It is okay. But in this particular case, you find that on our promise, they are going and doing some work which is known to me. Then definitely I have to perform the promise. On behalf of Bharat Institute of Law and Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, I thank you all for this presentation.